My name's Luke, and welcome to another episode of Another Dark Hole. Told you I wouldn't screw that up. Ha! So this last this last weekend, I saw Gods of Egypt. Gods of Egypt tells a story that basically feels like it meant to be a Clash of the Titans sequel that never got made. Incidentally, there's a Clash of the Titans sequel that never got made. The story's a pretty simple one. Gods fighting gods over jealous, stupid things, and then everything just gets muddled after that, and nobody really cares about anything. And also, I'm just going to spoil a bunch of stuff because why not? I knew I was in trouble when right away it opens up with narration that really ham-fistedly explains everything, which I find funny because this is directed by Alex Proyas, whose first, or one of his first movies is Dark City, and the theatrical cut opens up with narration that gives away everything. And then he has a director's cut that cuts out all the narration, and it makes it an infinitely better movie. One of the many problems of this is that this movie has two Chekhov's guns. To simplify what Chekhov's gun means, that pretty much means if you show a gun at one point in the movie, it has to go off at some point in the movie. So the first one that we get in the narration is that gods walk among men, and they're really tall, and they have blood of pure gold. At one point in the movie, riches becomes a big deal, so I thought having gold for blood would come into play, and it doesn't. In fact, them being tall doesn't really come into play other than to make them taller than the humans. But there's really only one human really interacting with them at a time. It's an interesting visual choice, it just falls really flat. The second Chekhov's gun that doesn't go off is the character of Beck, who's the human that sort of tags along with everything. Every step of the way, they're sort of kind of hinting that there might be something bigger going on with him, that he's not just a thief, to the point where people joke that, oh, you must be like a god of something. But no, he's just a human who's just caught up in everything and trying to save the girl that he loves, which is oddly the most straightforward thing in the whole narrative. And of that narrative, all of the dialogue is just really clunky, to the point where Horace, who is the character that we're following, is pretty much straight up told, you have to go on a hero's journey. As in the classic hero's journey. He's told this. But up until that point, we haven't really seen anything to say that he's not a good king or a good person or anything. We're just told it. Overall, this whole movie suffers from not going with show, don't tell. It keeps telling us who we're supposed to care about and why we're supposed to care about them, or why people are doing the things that they're doing, but we aren't shown anything to back any of it up. And then we have Set, the bad guy, the villain, the antagonist, whose motivation is to be king of everything. I don't know why, he just does. His narration is so muddled, I'm not really sure I know what his desires really were. He just sort of keeps saying stuff and doing stuff, but none of it lines up. It's like they're from 3 different drafts of the movie, and they were cut into cards and then shuffled together at random. But one of the more hysterical aspects of this is the production design. It's so grand and amazing and just insane to look at. I kept sitting there saying, so this is Egypt. I didn't know this is what ancient Egypt looked like. Which leads me to a little game I like to play with myself sometimes, called Fix This Movie. In this case, 2 things can be fixed at once. Now, the production design is so over the top and ridiculous. I mean, there's pyramids everywhere in the middle of the city, and they're used for, like, storage space and stuff. And there's overpasses, like highway overpasses in the middle of the city. Because, yeah, Egypt had those. And just huge buildings everywhere. And above all, the earth is flat. Flat earth. Now, the second problem that can be solved amongst all of the craziness is to just say, hey, this is another dimension or another planet, and then make up different gods' names and just say, this is a story about gods, blah, blah, blah. And then you don't have to deal with all the backlash of all of the white people cast as Egyptians. Because, I mean, it's pretty crazy. Jeffrey Rush plays the god of gods. Jeffrey Rush. If you don't know who that is, just go look him up right now and say, oh, yeah, he makes a good god of the gods of Egypt. Now, I will actually say one really good thing about this movie. I saw that it was 2 hours and 7 minutes long and figured someone just gave up on this. Because no movie like this should be that long. Now, I actually got sick halfway through the movie. Not because of the movie, just coincidence, and it sucked. But by the end of the movie, it didn't feel like it was 2 hours long. So, I guess the good things are, it's not the worst movie I've ever seen, and it doesn't feel as long as it is. I wish I could say the action scenes were good, but every action scene is filmed with the camera just constantly spinning and spinning and spinning and spinning and spinning around the action. It just, I literally had to close my eyes at one point so I didn't get sick. But I do really wish this movie had come out last year because it is so bad that it's good. It's very enjoyable. All the performances are actually really good despite the clunky dialogue, and everybody seems to be giving it their all. So it's very earnest. Every aspect is earnest except for the script rewrites. So yeah, overall, go ahead, go see it if you like dumb action movies. You'll enjoy that much of it, and enjoy how insanely dumb everything is. So that's it for now. Until next time, I apologize for nothing.